Alright. We've got ourselves the best of 5 grand finals in the Weekly Cup. It's the North American Weekly, and it's the first one to be played on the New Balance patch. Storm Gaming's MaxPax in the bottom left side, up against Clem in the top right. That was funny, on the first day that patch dropped, I'd already planned a patch show match to be played on the custom mod between these two players. It was a best of 7. Clem came out on top 4-1. But to be fair, the first two games, like MaxPax I think was feeling a little off that day. I know when we got in the interview, I said, hey, how you going, mate? How you feeling? He said, to be honest, not very good. And I don't think it was just because he lost the series. I think a lot of people interpreted it that way. I think he literally was feeling a bit sick or something like that. But MaxPax kind of lost the first two games before he even got going. Things like Widowmine drops finding too much damage and him going for Blink Stalker pressures that got defended well. So it was kind of just, we didn't learn that much from the first few games. It was just the same early game interactions we've seen for a while, and Clem came out on top. But then we saw some really interesting games. Like some games, MaxPax actually did really good since the Raven didn't have Interference Matrix anymore. Clem couldn't really threaten him with those Interference Matrix timings, and MaxPax was so good at getting up to a good economy. But he really struggled against mech one game where he shut down a mech timing really well, got ahead, but then he counterattacked with like a Mortal Phoenix and just lost his whole army. So they kind of both threw the game back and forth a little bit. Then he defended Clem's push really well. It was a very close game, but I think he felt uncomfortable with how defensive he felt he had to be against the heavy Cyclone mech, and he ended up making a mass Void Ray transition off a few carriers, and the Void Rays just got kited to death by Vikings. They did almost nothing, and it was kind of unfortunate, but it was also cool to see that Clem could make mech work. I definitely think MaxPax, if he just played more of a ground-based style, would have had an easier time overwhelming the mech army. I really feel like Charge Lord Immortal Archon actually does just fine there. But Clem was doing a good job of like tanks mixed in, Widowmines mixed in, so he wasn't making it easy by any means. There was also a game where MaxPax was afraid to build disruptors in the late game because he was building a high economy of like 85, 90 probes, and with the disruptors now costing full supply, MaxPax, you could tell, felt he couldn't have a super big economy and a disruptor army. So he was trying to use different armies, but he inevitably was ending up often on lots of Zealot Stalker, occasionally with a few Colossus mixed in, and those units are just way too inefficient for the late game. Nothing's changed in that regard. So he definitely had a bit of doubt around, can I use disruptors in late game? I still think you can, even though that disruptor nerf is very annoying as a Protoss player. Anyways, nicely done with the Reaper harass, guys, but there is a double chrono to get our second adept. First adept going across the map, but 2 Marines are ready. Only losing 1 probe, not too bad though. And that bunker perfectly timed there by Clem. Hides the SCV inside as well, and no damage will be done. Oh, Reaper's coming in right now. Oh, this is a bad start for MaxPax. He's really trying to put pressure on with these adepts, but they aren't going to find anything. This is a very bad start for him. Already giving up 2 Reapers and chrono boosting multiple gateway units to find no actual damage. What's he doing? He's forcing 2 SCVs to lose mining time, but it's way better to kill 2 probes and see pretty much the entire build order here, which is of course what Clem's seen. He hasn't spotted the Twilight yet, but I think it's not too unusual to expect that in this scenario. The Adepts, did they get an SCV? No, still no damage for them. And he sees the Twilight just before he dies as well. That Reaper, such a good scout there. And MaxPax finally gets himself an SCV, but he does have to pay a price for it. That Adept going down as the Cyclone does regain control of the natural. Now, it's going to be a 3-gate blink opening for MaxPax, but I would say with 2 probe losses, bit of lost mining time, I do favor Clem in the opening. And he's going to go for a 2 Widowmine drop before going for things like Tech Lab, Siege Tank, Raven, and 2nd and 3rd Barracks. So usually that'd be the standard transition as the next step. On the other hand, with 3-gate blink, you are expecting MaxPax to both go for a blink pressure with a Warp Prism, but it's not going to be as committed. He might not even use the Warp Prism, maybe just an Observer so he can blink in the main, and he'll take a 3rd base as well. He's going to do that off 3 gases for now, and you can see that probe already heading to the 3rd. Hits a supply block, but only a small one. And definitely, I like the opening for Clem, but I do think it's not like, oh my god, you're so behind as MaxPax. It's still pretty even. Adept is in there. Oh, going after the SCVs. You guys are watching live, !patch. See my original videos on the patch. I'll be putting up another video, maybe later today or tomorrow, with a few more thoughts just about what I've got my eye on as being potential huge problems in this patch, as well as the things that I like about the patch and the things I don't like. But it's all obviously very preliminary, so even the things I don't like mostly because they're kind of risky. Like, they're complicated, and it's hard to foresee everything that's going to happen from them. The reason why I'm not, like, oh, that's so terrible, why would you be risky though, is because very simply, I've been asking for risky choices to be made for a long time. So now they're being made, I can't exactly turn around and say, how dare you make risky decisions. I've been like, hey, let's make big changes. The fear is always just that, you know, we make changes and then we just don't follow up and adjust as needed. That's the only fear. So keeping our eyes on everything and really going to be pointing out any severe problems as we look through games like this, just to see exactly, hey, where do those adjustments need to be made. Stalkers pick off a Marine and then get out of there. They take a bit of damage though, very well positioned by Clem. Oh, goodbye medevac, very well. Pull the probes away. Oh, he waited a little bit long there. And there we go. Only 3 probes though. Clem, MaxPax waiting for the last second on that pull really worried me. He ended up doing it just fine, but just scared me, gave me a bit of a heart attack. As you can see, guys, 2nd and 3rd barracks, Raven, all what we expected. Problem is, if you let this Raven into the back, it's very annoying. You have a Stalker there, you can get a lot of damage on it as it flies past, but MaxPax has the pylon, he doesn't have anything else there. He should be reacting right now. He warps in 3 Stalkers. If Clem had queued up auto turrets, they would get slapped down by those Stalkers. And oh, he's actually taking a lot of damage. At that point, it's 2 or 3 shots from death. 3 shots, I believe, because it's, what, 13 damage versus non-armored units? So yeah, 2 Stalkers basically means that Raven can't get in there without dying. On the front, you forced 2 bunkers, you've forced multiple tanks. I think you're in a very safe position as Clem, but you also don't really have the easiest push-out potential just yet. And MaxPax has gone for a delayed 3rd base into Colossus. And his 3rd is now coming up, charge as well. Going to go from 3 gates up to 5 gateways in a moment. See the probe going to pop out where it went in, and then it'll rotate around after that. Forge is on the way as well for MaxPax. Make it 6 gateways. I think this is a very even game right now. The Raven does not have interference matrix. Keep that in mind, everybody. So the Colossus will not, normally in this scenario, previous patch, that Raven, if it gets out of there, it comes back in interference matrix to Colossus. You do not have to worry about that at all. Colossus will be much more stable of a unit for going forward and slowing down these sort of siege pushes. Problem is, which angle is he coming from? You got to kind of keep track of where that army's at. And there's only 1 observer, and it's on the bottom of the map right now. The Stalkers are there. Uh-oh, MaxPax is going to lose 3 Stalkers. That is not very good for him. Cyclone getting some damage. Stalkers do try to blink behind, but it looks like a Widowmine picked off another Stalker there. Look at that. Colossus, they're not going to get jumped on anymore. That's what's so much better about the Colossus now. Getting a few hits off on this bio. Taking a few tank shots is not the end of the world. You preferably don't want too many units standing under the Colossus, or the tank splash is rather brutal. Good force fields, man. Lots of bio units getting chewed up by that. Great positioning by MaxPax. He's being very patient on the overcharge. Really good play by him. Warp Prism is here. He's going to warp in a single Zealot to try and block the 3rd, or at least pick off some units. But the Marines are there, and MaxPax leaving that Prism sieged in vision way too long gets punished. Oh, one of the tanks went down, guys. The Colossus happy to run forward. No interference matrix to punish actually makes a really big difference. Clem wanted that quick stim, he wanted that quick shields, but it does come at a cost now, and that's what I really like about that change. Interference matrix now needs to be upgraded for that 50 minerals, 50 gas, and 57 seconds, or 54 seconds. I always forget which one it is. 4 Widowmine drop, though, the great equalizer. The big thing that a lot of the internet's been angry about on Reddit is nerf Widowmine. Is something mid and low-level players have been asking for basically 10 years now. And they've been especially angry about it on Reddit recently, since balance has been bad in the matchup, and that's always been a sore spot for them. Hasn't been touched, though. The only thing is, if you get drilling claws, which almost never happens in this matchup, they unburrow slightly faster. Not really a big difference in most scenarios, but you can see these Widowmine drops very annoying. Zealots run in, set off the Widowmines. This is a scary push timing. The Widowmines are firing there. He manages to get a total of 6 probe kills this game. Not that many Zealots on the right. Colossus Sentry on the left. Oh, those Colossus are doing a lot of damage. But the Widowmines are going to get some decent shots off. You retargets onto the probes. Nice multitasking from Clem there. Not just letting it shoot on a single Stalker. 7 probes going down. Stalker's a bit far forward. MaxPax needs to keep this one in his pants right now, because those Colossus on their own will get taken out. The Stalkers need to defend them, and that Prism needs to be warping in Stalkers, Zealots, anything to reinforce this army on the front. Clem is having his units shaved off. He's in a very stressful situation. He's out of energy. And all you need to do is just keep forcing him to stim here, and you could probably win the game with this army as MaxPax. But there are now 4 Vikings. There's 2 more about to come down. The spread is very good as well for Clem. If he can come around the left side of the speedy zone, that's where you're potentially in trouble. I like that he pulls his army back and then pulls his Stalkers back later, because Stalkers have blink. They always have the opportunity to get out. Like even there, if he just blinked, it would have got out. He just wasn't watching. Prism on the top. He's going to go in with some Dark Templar multi-prong. MaxPax is down 30 supply still. Stalker does get taken out by that Widow Mine. Oh, MaxPax not watching his Stalkers for a little bit, losing like 3 Stalkers there. It's a little unfortunate. Stalkers out in the middle. He's losing so many Stalkers. This is so expensive for MaxPax. Very bad fights for him, a series of them. Dark Templar in the main, though. Dark Templar will run into the third as well. And he's got one in the natural going in. And that's going to be very hard for Clem to deal with. Very well played here, but EMP does take out that one. The one in the main starting to work on the Widow Mines. One in the third base looks like it got EMP'd down as well. Kills a Widow Mine there. There's another one standing right there. The lack of observers, I think, is a big thing that's been really hurting MaxPax play over the last few months. If there's one thing that I would point out, most of the top Protoss players have an allergy to observers, and it's costing them so big. The moment you defend on your side of the map, you need to build an observer for the counter pressure, or those Widow Mines just cause you way too many issues on the map. Not only is vision important, but also clearing up those units. Now, don't get me wrong, we all understand Robo production time is at a premium, but I think we are realizing after seeing how often Widow Mines are just crushing that this is definitely an issue. That Raven is still there. MaxPax though, nor Clem, neither player has used Select All Army key to move their army around this whole time. Really impressive that they've managed to not do that. Alright, Zealot's going to go on the right side. And Clem still looks rock solid in this matchup, guys. And on these big maps, he does have the ability to really use that mobility style that he's a king at already. I mean, we definitely need observers out there. I like that MaxPax is sending one out, but like he's so blind right now. He's moving this observer forward as well, which is a great move. You can see he's queued them to siege much further forward on the map, which is great. Zealot will spot the army split, so he sees an army in the middle and now an army in the north. That's really good for MaxPax. To know the army split, he's going to go, okay, 2 Colossus in the top, 2 in the bottom. And the top army is probably going to be very defensive at the base, while the bottom army moves forward to try and secure this bottom base out in the open. And that's a lot of Vikings, but not a lot of bio. There's only 5 Stalkers, though, for MaxPax, so the numbers here are actually kind of good for Clem's Vikings. Cancels the 5th base. Disruptor does throw a ball from far away. Unable to connect. He's only built 1 Disruptor, so it looks like he's just going to mix in a couple Disruptors in the late game and not go for the mass Disruptor anymore. Fusion Core is on the way. 2 more Command Centers, 3-3. MaxPax needs to get that 5th up and running, and he needs to go attack. He can't still be defensive for so long, because if Lib Range comes in, you're screwed. Lib Range is such an important turning point. If you don't already have a big 5-6 base economy, it's a bit too efficient against you. So you're meant to establish a superior economy in this stage of the game, but it feels like Clem has just been in charge this whole time. Look at that. Colossus goes down for 1 Viking. Great trade for Clem to start. And he's like, yeah, man, my Vikings just kick ass. Something that MaxPax pointed out is potentially nerfing the Viking to make it a bit less microable might be a great way of targeting this matchup. If this matchup looks a bit unfair, he said, you know, well, Vikings are so good at just picking off Colossus and Phoenix for free without ever getting hit. They're actually kind of insane. And that is something that got buffed in the last patch. Disruptor Shot did go in, hit the Marauders. Viking Bio microing in and out. The battery overcharge not enough to save against that many Vikings. Battery overcharge, you know, really doesn't have anywhere near the power that it once did. It's useful, but not game-ending by any means. Dark Templar blinking on top of those ghosts. Not enough firepower to really deal with that warp in. Great move there from MaxPax, but oh god, MaxPax army is kind of running into an awkward fight. Oh no, the Colossus on move command there. His army accidentally splits up. The Prism goes in, it goes out. The Dark Templar still overwhelming. Another Zealot warp in there. It could be game-ending. He keeps a Colossus alive somehow. I don't even know how. This game is an absolute poop shoot right now. So many command centers are up for Clem. He needs to get back in the main and stabilize, though. The Dark Templar have been ruining him. That Dark Templar kills a Marine before getting shot down. He's going to lose his +3 armor upgrade, but probably not +3 attack. Actually, he might not even lose that. Army in the south runs in. Disruptor and Colossus get picked off. 1 ball does go forward, doesn't land on anything. He's got a lot of Immortals, which are good for killing planetaries. We'll see how it goes. Zealot, DT, Stalker in the main. He's going to try and use Stalkers to pick off those Liberators. They need to blink forward if they want to do that, though. And you can see how fragile Stalkers are. They die so quickly to Marauders. Ooh, finally, Clem brings his whole army up, gets rid of the prison with the Vikings, cleans up the ground army, and defends. And unfortunately, MaxPax, with such a big rotation from this angle to this angle, did not find damage in the meantime. If he killed a planetary at the same time, he'd be okay with it. Finally cleans up that Widow Mine that's been there for a long time. 1 Colossus, 7 Immortals, 2 Disruptors. Oh, 7 Immortal army, very cool. Only 9 Stalkers in here. That 1 Colossus, probably going to die the moment the Vikings shoot it. The fact that he's kept it alive this long is kind of impressive. He's got a 5th base in the top, does MaxPax. No 6th base just yet, though. He'll probably take the one in front. There's a rich gas base there. Clem, he's only on 4 bases. His bases are starting to mine out. Oh, the Vikings will take out the Colossus. The Widow Mine gets a big shot on the top left. I think MaxPax can't really commit here. Oh, the balls all get focused down. He almost hits his own Immortal with a ball on the left side as well. Zealots are coming in as well. Dude, no way. He actually realized he just had the numbers. 3-2 versus 2-2. Looks like he did manage to get rid of both of the upgrades of Clem somehow. And those 3-2 Immortals actually able to break through Clem and do crazy damage. Disrupt helping to cover his retreat as well. Did he lose both engineering bays, guys? He lost both engineering bays. I can't believe it. His 3-3 got denied. And MaxPax able to overwhelm there, just doing so well in the main base with the damage. MaxPax always with such a good knowledge of when he can fight, when not to fight. Takes that number 6 base up front. And Clem is starving. He's got a lot of mules. He can drop them on this base and this base, but definitely way low on medevac juice. His units are constantly hurt. Does he have the upgrade, guys? He does not have a fusion core yet. Or he does, but he hasn't got the medevac upgrade, and he actually needs it right now. His medevacs are out of juice. The new medevac upgrade gives them double energy regeneration, but you need a fusion core for it. It's a late game medevac upgrade. Bio Ghost coming forward. Stalkers and Models, Disruptors and Zealots are all hanging around. Liberator's starting to come forward as well. And oh! I think that might be the first ball that's actually connected on Terran units in this game. So many whiffed Disruptor shots, or ones that got dodged, or the Disruptor got focused down. Finally, a decent one landed. The Immortal barrier there does do okay, but the Immortal does go down. Only 4 Immortals left in this game. He's already lost 5. And is building more Immortals as well as +3 armor right now. Great thing about the Immortal, guys, is it's one of the tankiest units on the ground with 200 hit points. So it's not as much shields, which means with armor upgrades, and even if you get EMP'd and the barrier is still there, it's actually really nice. Look at that. Stalkers coming in, picking off the Liberators. He will get 2 Marauders, actually, with that Disruptor shot. MaxPax has got Clem pinned, and Clem's actually overwhelmed in this game. Really well played, dude. I actually am so impressed. It felt to me like Clem was just a bit too ahead in the early mid-game. A bit too much control over everything, but MaxPax fights back and looks fantastic here, and he's got the upgrade advantage. He's continuing to build upon it. Engineering Bay does go down. See if he can start a +3 weapons. Clem is behind in army supply. Way down in worker supply by over 20. The Dark Templar run in, they run out. And oh, free command center. Thank you for the delivery. No, MaxPax, we're just going to let that get away. MaxPax not watching. And a free command center delivery just walks by him. Bit of a mistake there for MaxPax, but it is what it is. He's starting a Stargate transition for that endgame. Dark Templar getting ready to come back in on the top. And that there is a dead command center. The Widow Mines will take out a couple of Stalkers. But once those Immortals start landing hits, that planetary gets deleted. These other command centers pretty vulnerable as well. There are 10 range Liberators. He's going to try and trap MaxPax here, guys. But it's easier said than done. Those Stalkers could blink right on top of that. But he's not doing it. You got to make up your mind. Okay, he pulls away. Does end up losing a lot of his units, though. I think he'd be better off just fighting. I think if he just A-moves right now and then focuses the Libs with the Stalkers, that's the best fight you're going to get here as MaxPax. I don't think running away is the right idea because the bio is too nimble. So notice he's actually letting his army get run down. And this sort of fighting retreat, it just doesn't work because Stim bio is so fast. See, that's really good though. When he snipes the Libs, that's where he gets great value. Clem shouldn't really have any chance left in this game, but he's still got an army supply advantage. He's going to go for the main. There's plenty of Stalkers there on both sides. And then he's going to completely block this. Stalkers take out a full medevac. Clem is going to tap out. There were Dark Templar in his base, tearing up his buildings at the same time. GG, well played. MaxPax wins game 1. All right, everybody, going into the next game, we've got MaxPax blocking Clem's natural for a good couple of seconds there. And it's a standard Reaper expand with no scout for Clem in the top left. Repping Team Liquid. Psystorm Gaming's MaxPax, on the other hand, did go Cybercore before Nexus, as he does every single game. And he's going to be opening up with a Zealot pressure. Looks like a pretty safe opening for Clem, though. He's going to try and build a bunker with that SCV. He'll have to dance around. If he does the 2 Marine opening that he's been favoring, he should have an easier time defending this than otherwise. So if he starts a second Marine turn, fans, rejoice. If he doesn't, he's in trubs. And he doesn't start a second Marine, he's going to go Reactor. Oh, which means the Zealot's going to find its mark. Actually, the Zealot's taking a little bit of a long route. I guess it just wanted to dodge the Reaper, but it is what it is. So... oh, okay, almost got that Reaper. If you got a second hit on it, then the Shade is always going to confirm a hit. And he would have been able to kill it, but not able to quite do that. Here we go, guys. The bunker's almost finished, though. Zealot's a little bit late. He should have gone for that SCV building the bunker a little bit too slow. Bit of a mistake there for MaxPax, but he gets it. And actually, he's going after the Marine. Got to go after the SCV. But this is at least going to keep the SCV away from that command center for a little while. And then the Adept, of course, follows up. And there we go. Adept's going to go after that SCV as well. Gets it. This is a much better start for MaxPax. Remember, last game did not start well, and yet he turned it around and won anyway. This is going to be fantastic. Get some Marine pick off there. Now, he's taking a lot of damage to the Reaper. Great Reaper micro from Clem, but Clem has to hide inside that bunker. Oh, if he gets the Adept, he knows he can out-micro this. Well done by Clem, dude. That micro is exceptional. A lot of turns would have taken a few seconds longer to get that up. And the Adept has to run away now as well. Oh! Okay, he does get a bit too cocky chasing the Adept and does lose his Reaper for it. Those Marines should be heading home. Behind this, guys, it's Blink into 2-gate Robos. 2-gate Blink Robo. He sees the Cyclone. Get out of there. MaxPax, run! Oh, MaxPax, he mustn't have been watching. He mustn't have realized that there was a Cyclone. And it is going to be 4-gate Blink Robo, guys. Which is a pretty damn good opening. You've got this whole big ledge to jump up. But it's not that easy to jump up because there's a bit of a gap. Actually, I think you can move your Stalkers there, right? No, that's a hole. That is a hole. So you have to blink from there to that. You can't blink as easily in and out a big mass of Stalkers, and you can't really blink from, like, here to here. You have to, like, move in single file and blink in. The natural is also quite easily defendable. However, you can easily blink Stalkers from there to there, and vice versa. So you can get in and out of that natural quite well. Pylon goes down behind that 3rd base, and he is frozen on the probes. A little bit of a supply blocky, though we do often see that with 4-gate Blink, so I almost feel that's like a almost planned supply block. Definitely the Pylon could have been a little bit earlier, but not going to slow him down by too much. Already up to 6 Stalkers, and with a Warp Prism coming out, which means you warp in 4 or more on the other side. He'll have 11 Stalkers, actually. No, he's going to leave 2 at home. Double Widowmine drop coming around behind the natural direction, but the Pylon doesn't quite see it. Medevac has longer sight range. And look at this. Oh, he's trying to steer his way in. Oh, MaxPax got a tiny second of vision. It was like half a second of vision. Oh, Clem's being so sneaky. So sneaky. And that gives MaxPax minimal time to respond. Despite that, MaxPax all over it. Pretty bad probe positioning there, I gotta say, guys. He should have moved that probe behind the mineral line. He lured into the gas probes. Slight mistake there for MaxPax. That one as well will also splash those guys. So this is not good probe micro by MaxPax, guys. He loses 5 probes when he should have only lost 2. Slight mistake, and he gets held on the natural, losing 2 Stalkers for no damage. Very good damage by Clem, and no good damage for MaxPax. He did fumble out a little bit after what looked like a promising start, getting supply blocked. But hats off to Clem for obviously hiding the mine drop as long as he did. MaxPax was probably like, how did that even get there, dude? Stalker's trying to push in the front right now. Oh, but good micro by Clem. Good repair micro. The second bunker as well. The Widowmine's going to get in and kill a few more units. Good blink. He dodges with the blink, but he loses a couple Stalkers on the front at the same time. It's hard to look everywhere at once, and right now, Clem is the player who's got a big advantage in this situation. There's a tank on the high ground that's in a nice safe spot, but the natural is really where the damage could be dealt. I feel like MaxPax has to start breaking through those bunkers sooner rather than later. He gets 1 siege tank, but he takes a bunch of shots in return, and it does feel like a successful hold here for Clem. Clem's going to get another 3 probes and gets out of there. You're kidding me. Absolutely insane Widowmine pressure from Clem. Finally, MaxPax shuts it down, but he's already taken so many losses. Way behind in the units lost. Down in the workers. And with stim, shields, all about, what, 45, 50, about 50 seconds out. It's kind of like, man, you need damage and you need it soon, or you need to just transition to the next step. And it looks like he's decided, I'm going to transition. I'll just look for harassment damage rather than the kill you damage. Gets a few of these SCVs, which is actually nice. 5 workers. Kind of the most impressive damage he's got all game. He even gets the Cyclone and a Marine. Kept trying to bash his head through the bunkers and tanks. Wasn't getting anything. Goes in with a Stalker drop and finally finds awesome value. MaxPax is a little supply blocked again, though. Unfortunate here. Maybe expecting to lose a few more Stalkers and get his supply block freed up. Tank is there. He's going to take out combat shields. Oh, the bio's far away. If he gets rid of Stim as well. Oh my god, Clem with a slow reaction. MaxPax is actually getting crazy damage. He gets a reactor there as well. What in the heck, man? He traded like 1, maybe 2 Stalkers at most for so much damage. He basically just chopped off Clem's ability to play Terran. No Stim, no shields. What are you going to do, man? Auto turret does come in. Looks like he got some mining time in the main, but that Raven's only on 2 kills. Very, very little damage. Only 2 kills. The Stalkers come in and they're like, oh, a free barracks kill? Yes, thank you very much. We will kill that, man. No worries. Bunker? Yeah, I'll kill you too, dude. Nice micro for MaxPax. He's got to get out of there, though. His Stalkers are weak. It's get out of there time. He stayed a bit too long. Losing a few of those Stalkers. You got to be careful in those scenarios. Clem's going to do a push with +1, otherwise unupgraded bio. It's a brave maneuver, but MaxPax shields are low. He can't really dance too much with this on the map. He's got to play it careful. Widowmine drop going around the top right again. There is still a Raven in the back as well. Colossus is on the way, #1, as well as Charge. So it's going to be 4-gate Charge Colossus. Forge is on the way as well. Stalker drop on the high ground. He might go after these upgrades. Tank's going to go and siege on the low ground, but these Stalkers dancing around this main, the lack of Stim, making it very hard to deal with. 4 SCVs do go down. And that Widowmine drop starting to get set up. He needs to do some damage. I think he'll try and distract in the natural with auto turret. And hopefully draw the attention away, guys. MaxPax, let's look at MaxPax vision. MaxPax, does he see it? The third base, he's not looking. And he gets distracted on the natural, which means, oh god, oh god, oh god. The Widowmines get 11 probes. Fantastic play by Clem. And MaxPax is still attacking. That's part of why he was so distracted. He was trying to attack and defend at the same time. And MaxPax is just starting to throw away a few too many units, I think. 11 probes going down. I thought he might be back in a decent position. But look at the supply now. He's kind of almost over-eager to get damage done. And when you kill Stim and shields, I really feel like you just want to kind of be greedy and go to the next step to take advantage of that. Because there's not much they can do for that next 2 minutes while they remake Stim, shields. And now, once they build it, though, they have the numbers. Stalkers do come in. Zealot drop in the main. Oh, this is really slick multi-prong, though. MaxPax is doing amazing damage right now, but he's got to worry about this army coming through the middle. Can he actually defend it? Sentries actually are the most important thing for him right now. If he warps in sentries and zealots, he might be okay, but I think he's warping it on the front probably. Oh my god, Widowmines just did so much damage to the SCVs. The Colossus gets jumped on. He's going to need to recall, guys, but I don't think he has that many units anywhere on this map. The Colossus gets taken out. Stalker's recall here to clean up that Widowmine drop, but 22 probes have already gone down. Stalker's trying to pull back. There is a battery in the main base. And with those Stalkers, battery overcharge is going to be a little bit effective. Robo already went down, though. Colossus is going to try and walk home from the other side of the map. The Stalkers and the probes trying to fight. But I think Clem has this one. It's a small map. It should be the Terran-favored map of the two that we've seen so far. But it looks like MaxPax, even though he had some openings, remember that he was way behind early on with his first few waves of pressure. He then found massive damage. But he continued to be a little bit too aggressive, and the Ravens, combined with the Widowmine drops, were a bit too effective. Clem here, rallying Biomine forwards. The Warp Prism going across the map there. The Zealot Stalker trying to gather forwards. And this is GG, man. There's just no way. Double the Terran army supply, 30 more workers. It is game over. Pretty damn exciting early game, though. Really cool to see such a close action-packed series so far. Thinking about dropping the Zealots, decides not to. There is a goddamn centipede of Terran coming down the bottom of the map. Stalker's going to take out 2 medevacs. Nice move there for MaxPax. But at what cost? He's got nothing at home. The bio stims in for the win. Pylons depowering the gates. And MaxPax has to tap out. GG, well played. Nicely done by Clem, defending the 4-gate blink with ease. Alright guys, going into game 3, MaxPax does not scout the engineering bay block coming in, and he is shocked to see an engineering bay there blocking his expansion. Very annoying to deal with that. And of course, it's going to be a quick factory and a marine here for Clem, as this is the standard follow-up. Interestingly, MaxPax gets blocked there and actually comes down to take this base. I don't know if this was his first choice or he just did that because that SCV was blocking it, but that is a very, very weird base setup. He's going to have a sort of high ground in front of it. Interesting, man. Be cool if you could do a tank push from up here, but against Protoss, that's easier said than done. That's the sort of thing you do against a Zerg player taking this base. Probably not against Protoss. We were just asking the Twitch chat what everyone's favorite bachelor food is. Handbag, the bachelor's picnic basket, roast chicken. Oh, so good. Sweet potato fries. I have some of those in my freezer as well. Frozen pierogies with sausage and mustard. Ooh, yum, yum. Get some good frozen food, guys. Wait, pig's not I'm not a bachelor, but I still eat bachelor food. I'm a shitty husband. What can I say, guys? Every now and then it's like, oh, it's pig's time to cook, and I'm like, all right, it's like fucking can of tuna on some pasta. Let's go. To be fair, my tuna pasta dish is actually pretty sick. It's a good one. Anyways, Stargate is there as well. All right, so it's going to be a Stargate opening against the Cyclones, though. Oh, man. I like that he shaded backwards. Cyclones do so much damage, they almost kill the Adept anyway. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, Rick. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. 2 Cyclones and a Marine. 2 Hellions behind it. I do think Oracle Adept defends this. I just think you need to build a second Oracle as well, so you can deal with the Hellions behind it. And if you defend it really well, you'll be in a good spot. Okay, obviously the Cyclones can kind of out-micro the Adepts pretty well. Oh my god, if he doesn't have overcharge, he's screwed. Oh god, he doesn't have overcharge energy, everybody. Oh my god, he needs that Oracle so badly. He needs that Oracle so badly. The Oracle's going to come in, but 2 Cyclones do beat an Oracle pretty handily, and you can see that Stalkers are so much better than Adepts versus Cyclones. Oh, if he had battery overcharge, it would have been okay, but a miscalculation from MaxPax not having overcharge. Instead, he was chronoing his Oracle out, and that costs him big time. That's going to be a nice setup with the eBay block into a cheesy victory with the Cyclone Hellion. Well played by Clem. Alright, guys. We got ourselves Clem in the top left. MaxPax down here in the bottom right, repping Psystorm. I think we see why you need to make Stalkers. You cannot make Adepts against the Cyclones, or you will be in trouble. Trying to go the Oracle there, but having his natural blocked, he no doubt defaulted to one of his older responses. And Clem catches him out with the dirty Cyclone build. He hasn't been using many Cyclone openers, has Clem, but I think just mixing it into a series like that is a very smart way to do it. And you definitely need Stalkers. Stalkers with a battery smash Cyclones. Those who don't know, Cyclone is 110 hit points. Stalker does 18 damage a shot. So it's only 6 Stalker shots to kill a Cyclone. So it actually will smash. Alright, Probe's going to pull back Command Center, goes down. Cybercore, second gas, second pylon on the natural. This is a Marine first, so no Reaper, no scouting for Clem. He's going to play blind. I think we'll probably see a double Hellion opening by him, but who knows, maybe he'll open up with a few Cyclones again. Just kind of thinking about the game, and I'm thinking about the strategy. So sorry for being a bit silent. Chat's asking me how much Vegemite I eat. I had Vegemite for the first time in like a month or two the other day. I probably eat Vegemite like once or twice a month. Not very regularly. Pretty nice. And yes, Twitch chat, it's tuna with a CH. Culture with a CH as well. It's the Australian way. You guys want to learn to speak Australian? Get some tuna and mayo. Chuck it on some bread. You get yourself a fucking tuna sandwich, bro. Tuna. Anyone who's watched the Big Les show knows all about Tuna Island. Alright, guys. The Adept's coming on in. Cyclone trying to come out there with the Marine. So just a single Cyclone for safety, allowing him to skip the bunker and try to push back the Adept. Now, this is something MaxPax was complaining about after our show match. He was like, man, I actually think the Cyclone being able to push back the Adept scouting is so bad for Protoss. He does get the Adepts away, but it does lose him a lot of vision. It loses him a lot of information about what's going on. Now, don't get me wrong, Stalkers are faster than these Cyclones on the map, and they trade very close to even. So if the Cyclone just gets on top of the Stalker straight away, it does beat it 1-to-1. But if you get the Cyclone to lock onto an Adept, and then the Stalker kind of shows itself and starts hitting it, the Cyclone usually gets its ass kicked pretty damn hard. Basically, it's a very fragile fight. Both units die very quickly. But the Adept can tank quite well. Hellion tries to drive in and sees a second gate, a third gate, and a Robo. There could be a fourth gate in the main. You really don't know. Here is Clem. Am I about to get taken out by 4-gate Blink? He has to build a tech lab and start making siege tanks. He's going to go for a very conservative single Widow Mine drop, as well as a second and third barracks. Now, we know MaxPax is actually just going to take a third. Doesn't look like he's leaning into the pressure too hard. I mean, he will do a Stalker pressure. He's got the Prism on the way. It's getting chronoed as well. Pausing probes on 42, so he's got 3 gases plus 16 on each mineral line. And, of course, a probe standing duty ready to take that third base. Stalkers are positioned well in the middle, so this is a responsive Stalker position. Some people like to just go half and half the Stalkers in each mineral line, so you don't need to look at it. That's a good low-level way to do it. Just put 3 Stalkers here, 3 Stalkers here. High-level players like to sit in a central location. And notice 5 Stalkers is the magic number to 2-shot a medevac, so he wants to hide these Stalkers. Medevac comes in, but without even seeing a Stalker, he just keeps it in the dead space, because Clem knows I've been spotted. He's probably got Stalkers ready. But by keeping it here, that means these Stalkers aren't being used for the counter pressure. And that is massive. Because 4 Stalkers is an annoying harassment. 9 Stalkers is a... Oh god, oh god. Oh god, oh god. That's a lot of Protoss. Still hitting them pretty well. Oh, he shows himself. MaxPax a little too slow to respond. Great micro with that medevac boost, man. Someone in chat just said, I like to drink the juice in the bottom of the tuna can. Someone call the FBI on this guy. That guy definitely has some bodies. Anyone who says that unashamedly has got some bodies hidden somewhere. Put that man on a watch list. That's some psycho stuff. Thank you so much for hanging out, Bloodfeast, and your huge generosity. Dude, much love with your toddler, your little child, your newborn and your toddler and your family. Thank you so much for your overwhelming generosity, Bloodfeast. Really appreciate the love, mate. Alright guys, so at this point, it does feel like this has been a very successful hold for Clem. He's taken next to no damage. A heli and 2 Marines, a bunker and an SCV. This is nothing really... Oh, that's 100 minerals down. Oh, 400 minerals, he didn't cancel it. He did not cancel it. Oh god. Guys, if we had a camera right now, we would see a tilted Clem. That is a huge loss. I'm like, he's lost next to nothing. Builds a command center and unsieges the tank at the same time. Oh, so bad. Very good for MaxPax. And he kind of needed it, remember? He committed quite a lot to Stalker pressure, and he's done nothing with it. A single Widow Mine is keeping him pinned here. Is what it is. This can't be live, right? It 100% is, guys. MaxPax and Clem are the 2 Europeans that sleep in the middle of the night only. Like 6 a.m., 8 a.m. is like when they go to sleep, so this is just normal hours for these psychopaths. Stim is finished, as well as shields. +1 is on the way. Raven's going to try to sneak out the right side. Good cancel on those warp-ins, gets the refund. Move out comes out here. Stalkers could definitely pick off a few Marines, but MaxPax has got to be careful. Pulling back the weak ones and just picking off what he can without losing any of these units. Really good micro for him. There is a Colossus out. He's leaving 4 Stalkers to pin the medevac. Great value, this medevac. This medevac has done so much just by chilling there. And you know what, guys? It could have been empty the whole time, and it would have had the same response from MaxPax. Isn't that wild to think about? Stalker's coming up behind him. Oh, he's going to go for the siege tank. Wait, no, he blinks it right in front of the army. That's a crazy blink for MaxPax. Oh, MaxPax with a bit of a weird fight here. I don't know about this choice. Is he fighting? Oh, he gets the Raven. Both auto turrets get used, and the Raven gets sniped. Here I am saying, bit of a weird choice. I think we see why he did that. Oh, he does almost gets the full medevac, but not quite. And the Widow Mine and the tank shots punish him. And MaxPax's whole army is now on the wrong side. Uh-oh. He's going to have to walk through tank fire again to get to that right side. Oh, gosh. Oh, gee willikers. Looks like the Widow Mine drop came in at the same time. Did get defended. The medevac, though, rejoins the army. The army's coming forward. The Stalkers are going to blink after the siege tanks. But, man, that is looking bad for MaxPax right now. Clem is large. He is in charge. And he's got the numbers. He's got the positioning. Fantastic play here for Clem. MaxPax, unfortunately, having some of his production depowered, cannot spend his minerals right now. He's got 800 minerals in the bank, and you can imagine a few more zealots here, and he might just barely be able to hang on, but Clem is all over him. And after sniping a Colossus, it does feel like that's going to be a bit too much. Battery overcharge did already get used. Wondering about that, and these Stalkers getting taken down. Still plenty of Widow Mines in a siege tank there, ready to recycle for the next round. Despite having a nice income advantage over Clem, you're not able to get rid of this push. It means you're not able to win. Another Colossus comes forward. The Marauders there are taking not much damage from it at all. Only doing 22 damage a shot to those Marauders. About the same damage as they do to it. But of course, The Marauders are a much more cheap, spammy unit that does get out there very fast. They snipe the Colossus, and Clem's looking A-okay. He's looking large, he's looking in charge. And this is actually a very nice setup here for Clem against MaxPax. Interesting to see, guys. Clem outplaying MaxPax. These guys are very evenly matched pre-patch. Post-patch, though, that's 2 for 2 for Clem against MaxPax so far. Is MaxPax going to figure something out? Or is this patch actually better for Terran, as MaxPax felt the very first time he played it? I don't know. I have no idea just yet, but I definitely feel like these games are being decided in the early stages. Did the patch affect anything here? The Raven really has been the only thing that's changed massively in these series. The EMPs also being a little smaller, I think probably had an effect in game 1. But the Ravens have mostly been used for harassment. They haven't been hanging around for interference matrix. That option's taken away, but he still ends up getting value out of it for auto turrets and other things like that. And his pushes are still very scary. Clem is a monster. Obviously, you're not meant to have a patch and then instantly the other race wins every game. You can't judge anything just completely by 1 or 2 games. So any thoughts right now from any of us? Me, you, all these players are still first impressions, but definitely looks like Clem is still dominating and commandeering the early game. Part of me feels like an issue we are seeing is also the maps are new, but not only are they new, there's lots of dead space. This is something I didn't really analyze in detail, how many of these maps have dead space, but one of the problems for Protoss on Royal Blood, for instance, was there was so much dead space for Widow Mine drops and Ravens to hide in, and having areas like that there, and that there, and that there, it gives so much space for drops to hide out in, for Widow Mines to hide out in. And especially if it's feeling like the Stargate opening has been nerfed, which is definitely a possibility, the Cyclone openings. I'm not 100% sure. Some people have said Oracle opening is actually the bomb and does really well because you see everything and then you just make Stalkers to deal with the Cyclones. But I'm still obviously not seeing many games, so it's all just pre-thoughts right now. But definitely Clem versus MaxPax matchup is going Clem's way, and he's looking really good. And I think that even the single Cyclone pushing back the Adept does really help him out. So definitely something we have to keep in mind, and something I've got my eye on for TVZ as well is, does the ability to just mix a few of those Cyclones in the early game actually limit the opponent's race's options? Because that's where things can really get out of control with a patch. If you're like, well, this makes this opening a bit worse and this opening a bit worse for the other team, and it makes this opening just a little bit stronger for this team. Because those early changes, even a little bit, are the ones that'll stack up to be massive later on. Dark Templar coming in, gonna go after. I do love the attempt for the Dark Templar backstab, guys. I mean, MaxPax has got 3 Colossus. He's got a 4th base on the way. His supply's not that bad. I'm casting the game like it's over. You gotta remember, this is a MaxPax game. It's never over till it's over, mate. Waiting for the scan to run out, and he goes in again. He's gonna try and run past here. Not gonna go for that turret. Turret and the Naturals are already almost finished as well. So we've got 3 Colossus, 6 Stalkers, 1 Disruptor. Okay, so this Disruptor basically needs to have a magnet that is drawn to the center of the bio. If he can land in the middle of that bio, then there's a chance. If not, it's going to be bloody difficult. Oh! Good spready at the last second there. I like how Clem waits to the very last frame to dodge, just to make it look like it's about to hit. Get the hype going a little bit for the fans. The Colossus are getting some great damage on this clumped bio. He's just so far down in the units that it doesn't matter. Amazing stutter step for him as well. +2 weapons really doing some work, man. 24 damage a shot to the Marauders, though they do have 2 armor, so I guess it's only 20. And that is beautiful play by Clem. Gets the 3-1, smashes it, and absolutely destroys. GG, well played.